Hey guys, Silvertorn here. Welcome back to Let's Play La-Mulana. Oh boy, has it been fun times for me. But enough about that, we have stuff to do here. Stuff which includes, well, two main puzzles for the end of the game. But I have a lot to talk about, so let's go about things in order. First of all, you notice that the crosses of light are all now lit up. That is important, and we will see why exactly that is so soon enough. However, since we're here on the screen, hey Mulbrook, you have anything fun to say? And so she does. Mulbrook here will be telling us about her father, who was a tailor. A rather good tailor who wanted to become a tailor, he was a tailor. He wanted to become a philosopher, he just wasn't quite good enough. But he was a very good tailor. Clothing he figured could be a treasure for the human race. Sure, let's go with that. He figured out a technique for eternal sleep on his own, so he is still around. And Mulbrook would like to help him fulfill his wish, since apparently the clothing fit her perfectly. Moving on. Yeah, we can look for your father, Mulbrook. That's no real issue. Let's go talk to Mulbrook again. Because apparently in the past 2 seconds, we found her father. Well, I expect this to be maybe a bit like when the Elder asked about us seeing the professor's dad, in that maybe the character saw him, but we did not. But Mulbrook, of course, goes to tell us more about him. Father likes to play tricks. Yeah, I could see that as a good reason for why he didn't become a philosopher. But being his daughter, Mulbrook has a good idea where he could be hiding. Hide in places it doesn't look like anyone could go. You know what? Yeah, we'll save this. The stuff relating to Mulbrook's father is interesting, and I'll get to that shortly. First of all, our first destination is going to be this area over to the left where the tablets are, because those are the mantra tablets, and I want to record them all now. But the stuff with Mulbrook's father is... that's going to be bonus video stuff. That's all I have to say about it. It is completely optional, and it is not easy at all. But, right, let's start this up. Since the main part of this video is going to be the mantra puzzles, let's learn about the mantras. First mantra is in the corridor, the entrance to the never-ending corridor. We've actually already seen that one. So the rest. Second mantra is at the foot of the twins, the tip of the feet that connects the two. Let's record that. I have an annoying bug in my room. I'm going to try to ignore him. Third mantra is on the path leading outside, at the side of Hell's Gatekeeper. Recorded this one. This isn't actually a normal mantra tablet, but it does tell us the order in which to do them. Seal, or recite the mantra correctly. Let us seal Tiamat, Baphomet, not gonna try, V, Bahamut, Elmech, Sakit, and not gonna try. I cannot pronounce those guys' names, and I'm not even gonna try. I hope that was obvious. But this does tell us the order, and through this, as we can see, it is the reverse order in which we fought them. This will also tell you that I technically fought 2 bosses out of order, maybe? I don't think I did. Fourth mantra is inside the giant, she who stands in the land of Inferno. We've actually had a lot of hints relating to that. Fifth mantra, below the goddess, at the foot of the goddess, staring at the collapsed tower. Yep. Then it skips right to the 7th. It goes from 5 to 7. By the spike atop the 5 mysterious floors. There is a very important reason why it skips 6. I'll get into that later. The last mantra is a sign of courage. Save this one as well. Now then, this video is going to be a longer one, very simply. But we've already seen the first mantra tablet, so let's actually go there so I can point that out more. And the easiest way to get there is actually through the dimensional corridor. Imagine that. But the first tablet was actually right up here. And we can just read it here. Chant these words, the name of the child of God who doth defy Tiamat. The name of the root of all suffering, the one who brought the 11 demons upon us. Marduk. Now then. This is quite simply one of the most involved puzzles in the game. It requires information that you would get from the manual, and quite frankly, if you solved this on your own, props to you. That's all I have to say. I did end up needing help on it, though once I figured out the way to solve the first mantra, solving the rest on my own wasn't that difficult. It's just knowing how to solve the puzzle to begin with. Now then, let us go back to the dimensional corridor so I can try to explain this further. Let's kill you as well. Right. How this works is based on the crosses of light. I've already drawn fact to how they are all lit up now. If we look at the map, we can see that the cross of light is actually just right above us. But I've already drawn fact, or point to the fact that all of them are lit up, which is part of the puzzle. Another part of the puzzle is that the maps wrap around, and that each and every map could be rearranged into a 4x5 block. Now then, good. Now then, using my mouse here, I can point out some of the stuff. This map is pretty easy. You can see that these two rooms up here would be moved down to here. Pretty simple. Now then, you're wondering, how does this help us out? Well, how this works is that this entire puzzle is about us sealing the bosses by chanting the mantras. There's a cross of light in every field, front and back side. So, let us consider it like this. The cross of light is a reference point. It tells us where the front corresponds to the back. So then, by this logic, we would want to chant the mantra in the backside of where the boss was. So it goes through the backfield into the front, thereby sealing them. Which brings me back to the interesting details about the dimensional corridor, how it is actually the front side and not the back side, and how the endless corridor is the back side. But I'm getting beside the point. That is more or less how you solve this puzzle. So then let's take a look at an example of this. This map here. We fought Tiamat right in this room. Using the cross of light as a reference, it is 1 to the right and 2 up. So then, let's go back to the endless corridor and see where that would correspond. Going into the endless corridor and looking at the map, again, it's pretty easy to see how it would rearrange. Either these 2 rooms would move over, or these 3 rooms would move over. I don't think it's tremendously going to matter which, so I'm just going to do path of least resistance, these 2 moving over. Now then, that doesn't actually apply to us right now. The cross of light is here. Using it as a point of reference again, 1 to the right, 2 up. According to that, where we would need to chant the mantra is actually going to be in the room right next to us. So then, let's put the mantra on. We need the Dej pillar to actually chant a spell, and we need to enable Marduk. We chant the spell in this room, and we have driven the wedge in. Now, I'm not going to do this for every wedge, because that would be a bit of a hassle. But let me go demonstrate more finitely. Is that the word I want to use? More exactly, I suppose. I don't even know what word I want to use. Let me just point out what we did. Because there is a very visible sign of what we actually did, and that is by going back to Tiamat's room. You will see that much like in the front side, where technically back side, where we chanted the mantra and the symbol appeared, there's now also one in the front side where the boss was. That signifies that the boss has been sealed. So then, let's move on to the next boss, or the next mantra rather. The mantras are also special in the fact that they only reveal themselves in order. So the second mantra, at the foot of the twins, at the tip of the feet that connect the 2. Simple enough. Let's go to the twin labyrinth. Now then, for what I meant before is that each mantra will only reveal itself in turn. So, you cannot actually solve the second or third or fourth or fifth or I hate you game, or any of those mantras until the first has been solved. You need to solve them in order. I'm also fairly annoyed because that locked me off of the path I wanted to go, so I get to go around. Because looking at the map, considering both of these areas as the twins, one twin and the other, tip of the feet that connects the 2, it's in one of these 2 rooms. Now then, I didn't actually get the mantra tablet to appear in my time in here, so it must be in this room here. Pretty simple to figure that out. Except now I gotta go around to get to there, so joy. But it's not that hard. I also don't remember if I said it already, but this is going to be a longer episode. There's not a thing I can do about that, and I don't think I would try, to be honest. I am content with this being a longer video. Can I get to where I want to go from down here? Please tell me I can. I can, good. Because you will see that the mantra tablet has revealed itself right down there. So let us just run right on over, and we can read the mantra tablet. As soon as I put things on. Chant these words: Baphomet's feast, to which the witches flock. The name of the place where the summoned demon shall return. Sabbat. And of course, put the Dej pillar back on. Enable Sabbat. So then, where is this boss going to be? Where we need to drive the wedge in? Again, fairly simple. The boss was in this room here. 2 down, to the right. Okay. Now for this, actually, the rearrange matters. These 2 rooms would be a part of the backside. Yes, would be part of the backside. So these 2 rooms would be shifted over to here and to here. Alternatively, these 3 rooms would be shifted down. It doesn't really matter in this regard. So let's say we go down 2, we end up in this room. We go to the right 2. Where we need to drive the wedge in should be 1 to the right of the other Holy Grail statue. Another thing to keep in mind, though, is that there is no penalty for chanting a mantra in a bad room. Like, you see I chant it here, nothing happens. So if you were unable to solve this puzzle on your own, you could brute force it just by chanting the mantra in every single room until you hit pay dirt. That's just troublesome, and I like to be able to explain the way the puzzle works. Third mantra is on the path leading outside, at the side of Hell's Gatekeeper. Pretty easy, except we do need to go a more roundabout way to get there. Because Hell's Gatekeeper, sounds like Horsehead and Oxface. Or is it Oxhead and Horseface? No, it's Horsehead and Oxface, I think. Maybe, probably. You guys know which 2 I'm talking about, though. We've been there numerous times already, and this should hopefully be the last time we actually need to pay them a visit. And we don't even need to pay them a visit, so go us. But by going all the way through here, we can run back down and take the backside gate and get to where we need to go. It's thankfully not that hard to do. Go us. I also need to put the hand scanner back on. Hand scanner on, yay. So back here in the Chamber of Extinction, on the road is right here. Chant these words: the name of the one with no name. The name of the one who soars to the skies, the great one with no name, Mu. New mantra tablets. And I also need to put the Dej pillar on. So then, now figuring out where this one goes brings us into where things get a bit more complicated. I've already mentioned how rooms rearrange and how that can be a big deciding factor. You can kind of see how it is here, though thankfully this is not that complicated. These 4 rooms here, shift all the way over. These 3 rooms, shift into here. These 3 rooms, shift over to here. Pretty simple. Now then, we fought the boss in this room here. This room would have been right where my mouse is right now, which is 1, 2 to the right. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. So then, let's go back to the Chamber of Birth. Yes, Chamber of Birth, and take a look here. Now this one is also fairly complicated with how it works out. Except, well, I could go through explaining how everything rearranges to fit properly, and that is an endeavor in its own right, believe me. It's something to the point of, I think it's these rooms shift over, these rooms shift over. It gets really complicated by the time it's done. Point of the matter is, it doesn't matter. 2 to the right. 1, it would wrap around. 2. We know that the rooms are 4 by 5. So, going by that, chant the mantra in this room, and it is chanted correctly. Alright, now let's look at the next one. The 4th mantra is inside the giant. She who stands in the land of Inferno. This one. This one. Gotta go actually through the Tower of the Goddess for this. Now we've had numerous hints relating to that giant Naga statue in the land of Inferno. The one that is fairly early on if you're coming from the Temple of the Sun. how she will not give up her secrets very easily, it'd take time for that to happen, etc., etc. I'm probably paraphrasing. The secret she concealed was the mantra. Tablet, rather. Was the mantra tablet. To get her to give up her secret, though, even though that is the next mantra in line, she still will not do so. There is one further thing holding her back. That one further thing is actually along this hellish path. Now, I went around the long way for a reason. These spikes are terrible. But there are a few things telling you that this is where you need to go. First of all, you probably would have recognized the fact that there is this pedestal here your first time through. Get a sound for beating. I don't think you can break it until you're on the mantra puzzle. I don't know for sure. Other reasons you know that this is related. The backgrounds, there is the giant figure of La-Mulana. But we place the weight down here, and you heard a bit of a click. So then, let us go to see exactly what happened. And of course, as I've said before, easiest way there will be from the Temple of the Sun. I actually think it's the hint below us, which is related to her. I don't remember. It's one of these hints here, I think, though. But let's just head over there and see about the mantra tablet. Now then, there is also one other main puzzle I want to solve in this video. It is the puzzle related to the sacred elixir of life. I'm actually going to take care of that soon. But coming in through here, after placing the weight on that pedestal, turn off that. Chant these words: the name of the hideous demon that lurks in the land, the hideous demon whose eyelids droop to the ground. V. Probably not pronouncing his name right either. I don't care. Vi. It's probably Vi. It probably is Vi. I don't know. Whatever. Puzzle. How does puzzle work? Okay. Again, this is actually a fairly easy one to understand. These two, placed over here. These four, shifted over here. Boss room gets shifted up to here. That's actually tripped me up a bit. So from the boss, we are one to the left, one up. Alright, seems pretty simple. Except getting to it's a bit of a pain. It is in the same area where we went to get to the pedestal we needed to place down for the statue to reveal her secret. And I do not know if there is a way to get to that upper area from the Grail tablet for the Infernal Tower of Ruin. So, I believe the only ways to get there would be to go through the backside gate from the Infernal Caverns, or to take this route here. I'm, of course, opting to take this route here. And while I'm here, statue portraying the goddess holding the medicine of life. Remember that, we're going to be dealing with that shortly. Alright, so then, how everything gets rearranged here. Again, pretty simple. This room gets moved up, these four rooms get moved over to here. So the cross of light will be in this room. One to the left, one up. Pretty easy. So then, while I'm going there, however, let me take care of something else. Or let me start talking about something else. You hurt me. You are a jerk. There is another puzzle. We need to fill the vessel here with the sacred medicine of life. It is important. It is required to defeat the game. Now then, here is the point we need to come across. How do we know what the sacred medicine of life is? Well, pretty simply, we know that the statue there should be what gives it up for us. But how do we make her dispense the medicine? The fourth philosopher gave us a bit of insight into this. And that insight primarily came down to we need to find the pure and mischievous spirit. We chant birth to her, which as you can see is one of our mantras. And we chant death to the other ones. So, there's technically 3 spirits. And you two do not like me. You two just hurt the crap out of me. What about you? What about you? No contact damage. They don't hurt when you shoot you. The pure and mischievous spirit means no harm from her pranks. That is a tablet that is somewhere in the lower portion of the Tower of Ruin. I could go track it down, but I think you understand what I'm getting at. So, this one, fairly obviously, is the pure and mischievous spirit. So we chant birth. Now then, we go and ready death. These 2 spirits are seductresses. I don't think I have enough S's on there. So we chant death to them. This one, and this one over here. With all 3 rooms taken care of and all 3 spirits properly chanted, we will get the medicine of life to pour out. We hold up the vessel, and we obtain the medicine of the mind. Pretty easy. Did I actually chant the mantra for this? I think I chanted a mantra for V. Back to the point though. There are 3 different medicines of life. Each one, yes I did, each one corresponds to which spirit you chanted birth for. If you do this puzzle wrong, you can go back to the 4th philosopher and he will reset it so that you can do the puzzle anew, which is fairly convenient. But it's not really hard to, it's not hard to do this puzzle. That's what I was trying to say. So it's fairly easy to do it the first time if you're paying attention to the hints. The one relating to the pure mischievous spirit is fairly easy one to recall, even if you don't record it. Now then, why I was coming here, you can see the mantra tablet. The 5th is below the goddess, at the foot of the goddess, staring at the collapsed tower. Well, we know that the collapsed tower is all the... darn it. Is all the way to our right. And also, I never showed this off, did I? Wow. This here is the quote-unquote proper entrance to the Tower of the Goddess. Yeah, I've never had to come in here. So then, let me go back up there so I can read the mantra tablet, get the mantra, and we can figure out this puzzle. Puzzle isn't that bad. Chant these words: the name of the turbulent sea of that land, the name of the deep dark sea where Bahamut lives. Barun. Alright. So, let's go back to the Spring in the Sky so we can see where we need to chant this. So, rearranging this is, again, or is also not that hard. This huge mess here gets moved up. And this mess gets moved over here, that gets moved down. Or something like that. 5, this huge mess gets moved up. Yes. This gets moved over. It gets confusing. Point of the matter is, the cross of light is either going to stay down here or be moved up to here. It is one above the boss room. This is one of the ones that confuses me. Going back to here. Or, one above or one below? Darn it. I've got confused myself already. Or is it this whole mess that gets moved down? I do not remember. Let me see. If this all gets moved... No, this would all have to get moved up. And then it'll be here, down to here. This can get moved over, that can move over. So the cross of light should be one above where we need to go. I think. Cross of light here, move it all around. Yes, okay, I did that right. This whole section gets moved up, this whole section gets moved over, or 4x5. 4x5. Alright, so this would get moved over, this whole section would get moved up. Simple. Doesn't matter. Cross of light's gonna end up here. So in the secret room where we got the flail whip, is that what it's called? Probably what it's called. The most powerful whip, that's where we need to chant the mantra. That was a lot more complicated than it needed to be. Also, I'm going to point this out now. Center of this key sword is shaped like a key. Difficult to use, doesn't deal much damage. Keep that in mind. I'm not surprising anything, am I? There's no reason I'm drawing attention to that. Couldn't be. Anyway, in the proper room here, chant the mantra, goes through. Now then, that was the 5th mantra. You notice that we don't have a hint for the 7th. Well, that's not going to do. Let's go back to the Temple of the Sun, see what happens. See if we can't figure this out. I do like this. There is the one empty space in the whole set of mantra tablets, which, as luck would have it, is where the mantra is going to be. And they put it in a place where, even though you have no hint, it is going to be in one of the first places you would go to look. So I do like that. And, of course, it's also connected to Mulbrook's room, and if you don't know what you're doing, you probably talk to Mulbrook fairly often. So you're probably going to see this fairly soon enough. Chant these words, those eyes that gaze upon the truth, the name of the all-seeing eye that grants divine protection. Wedge it. Alright, wedge it. How does this connect? Well, pretty easily, actually. This whole mess of 6 rooms moves over here. This room goes up. So we are 1 to the right and 2 up. Pretty simple. Fairly simple, yeah. Oh, I don't know why I went this way. This is a terrible idea. So, yes, that also indicates I know exactly where I'm going. Crosses of light. 1 to the right and 2 up. Yeah, it's going to be where we fought Anubis, because these 2 rooms move up, this set of 4 moves over. Pretty easy. So we need to get to where we fought Anubis, and I'm probably going to get hit by lightning on the way there. I'm just putting that out there right now. Because this room right here, and I didn't get hit by lightning, wow. I suppose I took a very different route to avoid it though, so that makes sense. But we get into where we fought Anubis, mantra on, and that is yet another mantra enabled, leaving us with just 2 to go. 7th mantra is by the spike, atop the 5 mysterious floors. This one is actually not that far, or not that hard to get to. Put this back on. So then, at this point, I suppose there's nothing to point out. While you always chant the mantras in the backside, so that you can drive the wedge into where you fought the boss on the front side, and how every boss is fought in the front side, the mantra tablets can be in either. We have seen them both in the front and the back now, and I can make it easier if I go through here. But the hint was relating to... oh, let's read it again. Let's read it again. By the spike, atop the 5 mysterious floors. Alright. So, what the crap was up with my physics there? 5 mysterious floors. By the spike. This is actually a pretty fun one to get to, just because ice physics. And be sure to jump as soon as you land on the platform, or you will slide into those spikes. Chant these words: the name of the one who tells of the giant sorrows, the name of the one who watched the fall of Erase and shed tears, Abuto. Alright, let's put... darn it. Let's put this on, enable Abuto, and look at the map. We need to go back to the Mausoleum of the Giants for this. Mausoleum of the Giants isn't that hard to rearrange, thankfully. This whole mess here gets shifted over, and this one would go up here. That doesn't really matter though. This is where we fought Sakit. It is down 1, 2, 3 rooms. So then, we need to go into the graveyard of the Giants now, and figure out exactly where that corresponds to. Alright, again, not that hard to figure out. This whole mess here gets moved over, this gets moved up. Cross of Light ends up right here. 1, 2, wraps around 3. It ends up right in the same room where we can access the Gate of Illusion. So we just need to climb up to there. Pretty simple. Ooh, how long is this video going to be? It's going to be about 30 minutes. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. I don't even need to come up here. Oh well. We come up here into this room, we chant the mantra, and it is driven in. This leaves 1 left for us to go. The last mantra tablet. And the last hint, the last mantra is the sign of courage. This one is actually very easy, and it brings us back to one of the first puzzles the game had you solve. The test of courage. Because right over here on this next screen, this was our sign of courage. We took a leap of faith and successfully got the, what was the shuriken then? Also, Elder, what do you have to say? Actually, it shouldn't be that long, Elder. Half hour, give or take, maybe a bit longer. Not that long, though. Apparently there's some crazy difficult area hidden somewhere in the ruins. Where could it be? Where could it be? I'm sure you have no idea, Elder. I am completely sure. Chant these words, the name of the one who started everything, and grant them eternal slumber as the last child of La-Mulana. What the Elder was talking about there is related to Mulbrook's dad, and it is again going to be a bonus video. It's a thing. Alright. How this connects. This room here would be shifted over. These 2 rooms, shifted over, shifted up, shifted over. Doesn't really matter. We fought the boss here. 1, 2 to the right. Pretty easy. So let's go to the Gate of Illusion. Pretty easy to see how this rearranges itself. These 3 rooms, shift up here. Now then, here'd be where you might have a point of confusion. Well, it's probably this room up here and this room over there. That maybe makes sense. Unless this room gets shifted here, so this one go closer. If you're unsure, besides just brute forcing it, there is a way to check. They have a system to explain how all the areas connect inside. And this is again in the manual. Rooms where there are secret passages that connect, that is the connection point. So you can see in this room, there is nothing above us, but we have a ladder going up. If we take the ladder up, we end up in the first room down here. This signifies that this room here does connect up to here. Very simple. And going by that logic, with the cross of light being here, 1, 2 to the right, it's going to be the big room where we fought the bird creature. Pretty easy to take care of, though. So let's put the mantra tablet on, or the Dej pillar. Put the mantra tablet on, yes. Put the Dej pillar on, enable La-Mulana, and get ready to chant the last mantra. Man, this is a long video. I knew there was going to be a long video coming into it then. Okay. And on this screen here, we chant the mantra, and the last wedge is driven in. Now then, this has done a few things for us. The most noticeable is the key sword. With the seal now broken, a red light emanates from its center. The key sword is now one of the most powerful weapons we can have. Once its power is fully awakened with all the mantras driven in, it is the most powerful sword we can use. But that brings us to the end of this video. This has been Silver Torn, Let's Play La-Mulana. We have all the pillars driven in. We have the medicine of life. We are all prepared to face the mother and give her the rest which she really needs. Release her from the torment she's in. But that'll be next time when we finish off Let's Play La-Mulana. Later.